All the information shared in this video is available on the public platform. Nothing is discussed here which may breach the confidentiality of our armed forces. Defense Detective respects our defense forces and works only on the information that is available for public use.
A chilling new wave of terror has spread across the globe as the explosion of small, seemingly harmless pagers and walkie-talkies in Lebanon and Syria has left authorities and citizens alike in a state of heightened fear and uncertainty. While intelligence communities work tirelessly to uncover the identity of the alleged mastermind behind this sinister plot, with suspicions pointing to Israel as the possible culprit, a disturbing reality has become clear: the days of predictable, timer-equipped bombs are over. The latest tactic employs an unsuspecting object, even an ordinary TV remote, to unleash destruction, leaving anyone, anywhere, vulnerable to a potentially catastrophic attack. The Israeli intelligence agency Shin Bet had placed Yahya Ayash at the top of their most wanted list. On 5 January 1996, Yahya Ayash, a Palestine Liberation Organization (PLO) bomb expert, while traveling in a bus, called his father from a Motorola phone. When his father took the call, Ayash asked, "How are you, father?" Those were the last words of Ayash. The phone exploded literally in his face. He was killed. The Motorola phone was gifted to Ayash by his university friend Osama Harnad. Osama's uncle Kamal Harnad was a Shin Bet informant who had it rigged with an explosive chip, which could be activated remotely. A small Israeli aircraft was orbiting the bus in which Ayash was traveling. Last June, he got in touch with me and asked to live in my house in Beit Lahia, says Osama, who was at first suspected of being behind the assassination and was arrested by the Palestinian security police. Osama says that, at the time, he was working for his uncle, Kamal Hamad, 43, a successful building contractor, and I told him, "Ayash, I was not sure that my uncle was clean." Kamal gave Osama a mobile phone. The number is now known to be 05050747 to keep in touch. Kamal Hamad asked his nephew for the phone, which he later returned. It was almost certainly at this moment that the 2 ounces radio-controlled bomb was inserted. Osama says, at 9 a.m., the cellular phone rang. It was Yahya's father who asked to speak to him. I handed him the phone and heard him ask how his father was. I left the room to leave him alone. 5 minutes later, I returned because I thought he had finished his conversation. I saw Yahya lying on the ground, covered in blood. He had no head. I was in shock. I called Hamas people and told them. They arrived quickly and took the body. Kamal Hamad has disappeared, leaving behind his Mercedes and his grand house of cream-colored stone. The Israeli press speculates that for betraying Ayash, he received $1 million, £650,000, a fake passport, and a visa to the US. He has left many Palestinians shocked that the Islamic movement was so deeply penetrated by Israeli intelligence. 4 days after Ayash was killed, Israelis are waiting to see if Hamas will retaliate. The West Bank and Gaza have been sealed off, stopping Palestinians from entering Israel. Israel's new technique. Nearly 28 years later, on 17 September 2024, Israel, allegedly, attempted the same technique to decimate its enemy, with unbelievable success, the Hezbollah. A few thousand pagers held mostly by Hezbollah fighters exploded simultaneously on a relatively quiet afternoon in Lebanon, injuring nearly everyone holding them and even killing a few. A day later, walkie-talkies used by Hezbollah met the same fate. The pertinent issue that emerges is, how did the Israelis or some other entity manage to place the explosives inside the pagers walkie-talkies meant for use by Hezbollah? Of far greater significance than technology is the intelligence operatives' ability to intercept the supply chain of the equipment. It is nothing short of a marvel of technological innovation that the entire shipment of pagers intended for Lebanon was intercepted, and the explosive was placed with a suitable chip connected to regular pager operations. This issue has opened Pandora's box. India imports a huge amount of electronics from China. Nearly identical items are imported to Pakistan, Bangladesh, and neighboring countries. There is no way to identify the virginity of the supply chain either by distributors or buyers. Even if the devices are taken apart and inspected, which one will have an explosive chip embedded in it and be impossible to find? The world still does not know the effect of a virus called Trojan horse. It is a sleepy virus embedded in chips that can be activated by the manufacturer by a simple command. The India-specific chances of such attacks are huge. Most of the drone components, for instance, are imported from China. Now, is the message clear enough, or does it need amplification? Every conceivable electronic gadget can be embedded with an explosive chip that can be activated remotely. The risk is no longer confined to mobiles and pagers, which can be used as miniature bombs. Ordinary chargers, toys, computer games, etc., to mention a few, might be the next option. Perhaps it is already happening. General Paul Mickey Nakasone, a four-star general of the U.S. Army who headed the United States Cyber Command and retired from his post in February 2024, opined, the perpetrators had an incredible ability to do targeting intelligence to be able to know the numbers, know who's got them, and know the periodicity upon which they're using them. A major concern now is how those types of hijacks could end up inside U.S. consumer products or devices. 1. If this was a supply chain attack, I think about our supply chains and what we need to be able to do to ensure their integrity. The second piece is, if it wasn't a supply chain attack, how was this conducted? Israel has, albeit inadvertently, given the terrorists an ultimate weapon of carnage, stunning capability, and disaster. Every technological invention has already been used by terrorists except nuclear detonation.